But this is the story of a bull. So it's another animal, a bull, type of cow, bull. A bull called Delightful. That was his name. Long ago, before Buddha attained enlightenment, he was born as an ox. A rich man named Taka liked the look of the ox calf, and he bought him. Though he was bred to be strong, the ox grew to be a fine, gentle, and kind bull. Taka fed him the best food and called him Delightful. Taka rejoiced in Delightful's strength. Never had there been a more powerful or more noble-looking bull. "You look after me so well," Delightful murmured one day. "I would love to repay your kindness with my strength." Taka thought for a while, and then suddenly off he went with an idea. Hurrying into town to find a fellow businessman, he bumped into the merchant named Schiller. "I'll bet you I have the strongest bull in the city. I have a bull who can pull 100 wagons," Taka boasted. 100 wagons? Schiller put his hands on his hips. 1,000 gold coins says he can't do it. 1,000 gold coins says he can, said Taka. Shake on it. And they arranged for a public show of whether Delightful could do it or not. On the day of the bet, Taka groomed Delightful until he shone and brought him to the market square. A crowd gathered as the mighty bull was harnessed to a long line of heavy wagons. Taka himself climbed up onto the first wagon, gathering the reins in his hands, he realized the whole town was looking at him. Wasn't he a very important man after all, and showing off a very fine animal? "Get on then," Taka shouted. "Giddy up! I can't wait all day. Move these wagons, will you?" Delightful raised his eyebrows, but moved not a single step. "What are you waiting for? Are you deaf or stupid? Pull, you dumb animal." Delightful turned his head just slightly, but he stirred not a single hoof. People were beginning to laugh and jeer. Taka cracked his whip in the air. "What? Will you make me look foolish?" "Enough, my friend. It's clear he can't do it." Schiller put out his hand for his money. Taka was forced to climb down and count out 1,000 gold coins to his rival in front of the whole town. Later that day at home, Taka brought Delightful his food. Leaning against the bull's neck, he said, "Why did you let me down? I know you can do it. Why didn't you?" Delightful raised his head and swished his tail. "Since when did you ever speak to anyone in such a harsh way? And you even cracked your whip over my head." Delightful looked disappointed. Then Taka remembered the good and the bad times they'd shared together. The way Delightful had stepped gently over him when he'd fallen into the mud so as not to crush the tiniest part of his clothing. The way the bull had lifted him up, had pulled any load that he, Taka, had asked him to, until now. "I shouted at you. I'm sorry." Taka stroked his neck, and the bull rested his head on Taka's shoulder. "If you went to town again," found Schiller, "and had another competition, you could make up for it." "I lost a lot of money. I don't know if I can." Taka noticed his daughter, Faria, watching them from the door of the barn. She came in and fed Delightful some hay. "You're usually so warm-hearted. You didn't mean to shout at him, did you? Give him another chance. I'm sure he would help you. He's so delightful." She stroked his broad neck happily. "As you wish," said Taka. "As Delightful wishes," Faria smiled. "Coming back to pay me more money, are you?" jeered Schiller as Taka and his magnificent bull entered the market square once again on the day they had arranged. This time the crowd was bigger than ever. "I see you've dressed him for the occasion." Delightful had been washed and scrubbed all night long. Garlands of beautiful flowers swayed around his neck as he walked. The best food that Taka could give him was gently rumbling in his tummy. Taka's praises and requests still rang in his ears. He was ready to pull anything. Just as well, the long line of heavy wagons stretched around the town square. Remember, said Taka loudly in front of the crowd, 2,000 gold coins says that my glorious bull, Delightful, can pull these 100 wagons. Be my guest. Schiller himself hitched Delightful to the front wagon. It's 2,000 coins to me the moment he can't. A little boy darted up. You can do it. I know you can. He threw his arms around Delightful, offering him some more flowers. Taking a flower, Taka felt a deep compassion when he thought about the life that a bull must lead, even so special a bull as this. His heart filled with warmth when he remembered how he himself had fed the baby ox from a jug. Touching Delightful's forehead with the flower, he said, I know how special you are. Now we must show everyone else. Please, will you very kindly pull these 100 wagons? In the same instant, Delightful put his head down. He braced his shoulders and legs. Throwing his weight into the harness, he began to strain and pull so that the muscles stood out along his back. The town held its breath. Every eye watched a wheel. Still Delightful strained, so that everyone was cheering him on. Come on, you can do it. A scrape, a squeal. One front wheel moved, then another, and the front wagon was rolling, and one by one, all 99 others followed. And faster they went, and faster, around the town square and over the cobbles, and the wooden wheels smoked with the strain, and still Delightful pulled, and on they went. Fire, shouted Schiller. The wheels are on fire. And now the firemen came and threw buckets of water on all the wagons until at last they all came to a halt, and Delightful stood, trembling and bathed in flowers, happy to have repaid his master's kind heart with the best pull of his life. Come on, laughed Faria, rushing up to Schiller. Cough up. And one by one, Schiller reluctantly counted out 2,000 gleaming coins. But the best treasure, Taka knew, lay in his newly found warm heart. So you can think about what we've learnt and how that applies to the story we just heard. So at first, Taka, the owner of the bull, he was quite proud, wasn't he? He was quite sort of like, yes, everybody's looking at me, how important I am. It was all about him, and that's what he was focusing on. In that situation, he was just focusing on himself, just his own important self. And he forgot to be kind to others. And what happened as a result? The bull wouldn't pull. He was horrible to him. Yeah, because of what he was focusing on. He had a horrible experience. Yeah. And then the bull reminded him, you need to be kind. You need to be nice. You need to have a kind heart. And then when he did, and that's what he was focusing on, he remembered, how lovely friendship he had with the bull, all the good times and the bad times they shared together. And that's what he focused on. He had that kindness. He had that love in his mind. And as a result, he was nice to others. As a result, people were nice to him. They pulled that amazing 100 wagons. He had a great time because of what he was focusing on.